Palestinians and over 1 million workers. Previously, Sid headed up CUPE Ontario for 17 years and became one of the labour movement's most recognized voices on public health care, education and public services. His firebrand militancy and unwavering principles, including his staunch support for the Palestinian cause, an international reputation as a champion of equity, social justice, and human rights. Let's hear it for Sid Ryan.
Well, sisters and brothers, I want to bring you greetings on behalf of the Ontario Federation of Labour. As you've heard, we represent 1 million workers in this country and in this province. And I want to say that first off to the organisers of today's event, and of course to the folks who've come out in support of Palestine, as they are doing right across the world today and tomorrow. I want to say in as loud as language as I possibly, clearest language as I possibly can, that Stephen Harper does not speak for the average Canadian when he supports the Israeli attacks on men, women and children in Palestine. And we want to make it clear that there is no doubt that this is not a war against Hamas. This is a war against men, women and children. Innocent men, women and children in the Gaza Strip. And we as a nation, and as citizens of this nation, surely to goodness, we should be able to speak out and say what's happening in Gaza is absolutely wrong. It's an absolute genocide. It's a murdering of innocent men, women and children, and there's no other way to put it. This is not a question of Israel defending itself against what? Against a bunch of ineffective rockets, which I would condemn should not be going against civilians in Israel. But under no circumstances does that give Israel the right to indiscriminately bomb men, women and children and murder practically 2,000 Palestinians in Gaza and maimed 10,000 more in that city, all because of a few rockets going into Israel, causing little or no damage whatsoever. That does not give them the right to indiscriminately murder 2,000 Palestinians. We need the politicians from all political parties in this country to stand up and have a spinal cord and say that's wrong. I want to speak directly to the NDP because I've been a supporter of the NDP for the past 30 years. I have run for the NDP 5 times. I support the NDP. I cannot support their position on Palestine. For taking the position that he's taking and cowing all of those backbenchers into silence. We had a vibrant NDP underneath Jack Layton and for decades beforehand. We were not afraid to speak out against atrocities whenever we saw them anywhere in the world, and including in Palestine. And yet there's not a word, not a single word of condemnation from the NDP leader or anybody else in the NDP against this genocidal attack on innocent men, women and children in the Gaza Strip. That, my friends, is simply wrong. However, you know, world opinion is beginning to change. I've been posting on Facebook and on Twitter all of the demonstrations that are taking place around the world. And in the country of my birth, I come from Ireland. And you can see if you go on to Facebook, if you go on to YouTube, you will see senators, you will see politicians, you will hear them speaking out against the genocide that's taking place in Gaza. But also, you know, in the British Parliament, of all places, there's actually Conservative and Labour MPs taking on the Palestinian cause And we've even had one senator over there, basically, one minister resign as a result of Cameron's position with respect to the Gaza Strip. So we can see, I checked before I came here, over 50,000 people are marching in London, in the UK today, in support of the Palestinian cause. You can see that Israel is not winning this public relations war. This war of propaganda which they've been so good at, they're not winning it this time around, my friends, because we've got social media, and you can no longer fool the rest of the world. We know genocide when we see it. We know murder when we see it. We know attacks on innocent people and kids and children. We know when we see 400 dead children that you cannot fool the rest of the world into believing that somehow they are defending themselves. That's absolute nonsense, my friends, because, you know, international law gives anybody who's occupied the right to take on the occupier. And that's precisely what they're doing right now in Palestine. And I say this because I know a little bit about occupations. I come from Ireland. We were occupied by the British for 800 years. And we put up resistance for hundreds of years, eventually kicking the Brits out. And you know something? There's an old saying that we have in Ireland. We used to say it during the resistant days. We'd say, "Chucky ye lar." And basically that means, our day will come. And there's no doubt in my mind, my friends, Palestine's day will come. There will be a day, you know, when we will help to build the economy of Gaza and in the West Bank and in East Jerusalem. And there will come a day when Canadians will get on planes and we'll fly to the beaches of the Gaza Strip and we will join in celebration with Palestine and with the Palestinian freedom. Yes, my friends, that day is coming. We can see it, and I believe it's going to come in our lifetimes. So stand strong with your friends in Palestine, with your families in Palestine, and build a movement and hold politicians in this country to account. And don't allow Stephen Harper for 1 second to have us believe that somehow Canadians support this massacre of men, women and children in Palestine.